Hey guys. Hey Adam. Mark, g'day. Matt, g'day. Gentleman Randy, hello. Stuart, g'day. Yeah, here we are with absolutely nothing achieved. Look at that. We've made it all the way through. We've achieved nothing. To another week. Bench needs a clean. I've been rooting around in here looking for things. Very little progress though. Hope everyone else has had more progress than me. Hey Peter. Bit slack, to be honest. Bit slack. Mark Osborne, good day. Tea and biscuits, hello. Yeah, it's not a lot happened here, to be honest. Spent 10 minutes and finished this. Gave it a bit of a clean up on the lettering because there was a couple of rough bits, but I think that's pretty nice, probably. Facebook, I think that's all we're going to get. So we've done that. I got to go and put that up at some point. Don't know when. Anyone who's watching this and wants to meet up at the Trades Guild probably is going to be Sunday, not this one coming, but the one after. I've got a meeting with the fire station or the fire museum up there about some sign work, so that's another thing I've got to do. I'd like to have some of these patterns ready to cast by then, so I might spend some time messing around in the foundry too. We'll see. I did strip this, sort of. That's something that could get done. Workshop HC, yep. Strip that. That's something I've done this week. You can't tell if I'm out of sync with the auto or not because you can't see my mouth move. So that's the one way to fix that problem. Probably out of sync every week, but there you go. Didn't think of that, did you? Anyway, what happened? How was my weekend? Right, Sunday. What did we do Sunday? Sunday, I run some pencil lines on some fuel tanks for Harley Davidson. There's a new Itchy Boots video just hit, so that's pretty exciting. Morning, David. It just popped up on my screen. Yeah, Itchy Boots had an accident and broke a collarbone and ended up with a punctured lung and stuff and flew back out of Africa to the Netherlands. So I'm sure you're all on top of that, but yeah, good channel if you haven't ever seen it. You're into that sort of thing. Bill, good day. So, yeah, Sunday I run some flames out, sort of. I hope they're all right for Dan Shed for his Harley Davidson tank. So that's going to be masked and sprayed in 2 colours, or in 1 extra colour on top of the yellow. Genuine Randy needs a second coffee. That sounds like a good plan. And next weekend I'm going to run some stripes on it, or some lines anyway, around the flames. So that's pretty straightforward. You can do that. We're on top of that. Feels that I'm in between. Oh my gosh, Bangalow, sort of. It's Bangalow, Clunes, somewhere in between Bangalow and Clunes. It could be Bangalow. No one knows where that is. It's between Byron Bay and Lismore, I guess, sort of. Anyway, it's very rural. We did do this, so fix that. Aaron remembers we were making a new bolt for this, so that's all ready to go. He welded that in nicely. It's going to be a pretty good job, I think. He's a qualified blacksmith. That's the sort of stuff he does. He's pretty good with that, I think. Morning, Paul. He's got a very nice blacksmith shop set up there. Anyway, he's fixed that, which is very nice of him. Got to get it down there at some point. Had a look at his 1913 Talbot with a view to run some lines on that and have a bit of a think about what it needs. I've got some ideas. I have to sketch some stuff up for him to do it. Had a tour of his blacksmith shop and museum there. He got a very nice blacksmith shop, a couple of power hammers and decent big forge and a lot of other stuff. Vintage cranes and forklifts or antiques nearly. And machines, steam engine stuff. So that was something we did on Monday. I got back here, I guess, about. I also loaded fridges from Dan's tractor, so Monday was a do stuff for Dan day. Loaded Dan's tractor onto a truck early in the morning, and he bought a new Ferguson, which beggars belief, really. But anyway, he did that, and we can't really judge him for it because I don't think he's particularly well at the moment, from what I hear. A schoolie from nearly, Bill, nearly. That sounds wrong on a kinky level. Schoolies is the Gold Coast party that they have at the end of formal education, or at the end of, I guess, year 12 education, here on the Gold Coast, Queensland. End of year 12. They have a big party. I'm not even going to ask how old Bill was at that point, but anyway. Oh, what might have been, I guess. Anyway, did that. I got all that sorted. Tuesday I had off to. What did I do Tuesday? Oh yeah, Tuesday I went and spent six hours or something on a truck job, which I've been working on probably one day a week. It's starting to look pretty good. All the lettering's, well, most of the lettering's done. There's a bit of writing still to go on it, and there's a bit of coach lighting and scrolling and stuff, truck scrolls and things. But we're not sure what colour yet, so we're procrastinating that bit, but it's getting there. It's nearly done. The truck's looking pretty good. It should be when I'm ready, probably in the next week. Might not be this next weekend, but it might be the one after. Should be James B. Should be ready at that point, I think, for some clear on it, and look really good then. So we'll see how we go. Dan Shed, g'day. Anyway, so that was that. Got all that stuff done. In the middle of all this, I 3D printed one of these because there's a few of these around, and I think there's a guy's got a shed full of them. He said in England that I could order a new old stock, but they're not quite the same as this. They're not the cast ones, they're only the pressed tin ones, we find out. So this is the top off the oiler or grease cup for the roller. There's 4 of these. Oh, it was a while ago because it was when he was at school, his Dan. He got chased with a machete. Bill may or may not have been what is known as a toolie, but we won't. No, he might have been a schoolie then, yeah. Anyway. He was probably old enough to know better, Bill. A toolie is someone who goes to schoolies who's not actually a schoolie. It's an Australian thing, obviously. So this is a cast cut. It's quite heavy. It's quite solid. It's got a bit of draft on it here, so it comes out of the mould. You can't quite see that, but when you measure it up, it has got a bit of draft on it, which is interesting. It's got letters around the top. And it's got these grooves which are parallel to the draft. Now this is a very interesting little 3D modelling exercise if anyone wants to have a go at it. A bit of a challenge here on a few levels. So anyway, we got on top of that, and I've given it a couple of coats of paint to sort of put a bit of a fillet on it and stuff. And I reckon it could do with the clean up and a couple more, or it might need to print another one, I don't know. It's sort of looking all right. I'll give it a couple more coats of paint, see how it looks. But that's what I come up with, which would probably cast all right in brass. So there's that. I've left it a bit thicker, and I'll put a bit of draft in the back so that it will come out of the mould. But that should cast hopefully all right. I don't know. We need 4 of them anyway. They're 2 at the front of the headstock. And 2 on the brake shaft. Yeah, you're probably a schoolie. We'll let you off at this point, Bill. Your story got a whole lot more legal than it was before. Anyway. So, this one's cast iron. Look, there's a guy in England who's got a few of these. If I get a job come in that pays some cash, and there are jobs that pay cash, but I'm still waiting for the cash. If I get a job finished and get paid, I might hit up the guy in England who's got some of these and see. I think he's had some cast ones, but most of them were just pressed in. And buy 4 of these. But if we need to, we can cast 4 of them in brass, which would be very nice too. All they are is this, right? And this has got a fine thread on the inside, see? I don't know if you can see that, you probably can. It's a fine thread, it's about probably 33, 32, 28, 32, probably 32 threads an inch, something like that. Probably find a patent drawing from. And then this bit, which is just basically it's a plain plug with a thread on the outside. I think it's actually cast up. This one's got a nipple in it because it looks like it was a burr horizontal. I'm not sure if it was even the right one for the engine, but it's a number 4. Hey, we got in contact with a guy who had a number 5 and a number 6, or a 5, 6, and a 7, or a 5 and a 7 and 8, or something. And another guy who had a 2 and a 3. This is a 4. I think it's the diameter. This one's inch and 3/4, I think. And the number 8's probably 2.5. So Mark's got one. If someone wants to distract Mark, I might. If I've got 2 original ones, that's all I need. So someone distract Mark one night, and we'll go and grab it. But anyway, they're probably not difficult to make. If we needed to cast some up, and I could have 4 brass ones. Anyway, got the top sort of half looking okay with those parallel grooves. This is interesting, and not just tape it in there because that doesn't work. This has got a couple of degree, 1 degree, 1/2 degree or something on it. It's actually a trigonometry function. I didn't actually put in the degrees. I'm not sure what it is because I measured the inside and the outside and made the angle between them the right. But these are actually tapered because they're a bigger diameter on the bottom than the top, so that they're parallel with the sides. So very interesting. How much meat on the inside? A fair bit, actually. Have a look. Quite a lot. Probably too much, but anyway. There's that. As for these, I'm not sure about these. This has got a funny sort of back on it like there, and it probably doesn't need that. You could probably just make them solid in the top with that like round on the bottom and then a hex, and stick a hole through the middle and thread the back, and that would do. These are undercut in here for some reason under the thread, which is quite nice. Keep the weight down, but it's probably irrelevant. So it's also got grease all over the pattern now. So that's something I messed around with for a couple of hours. Apart from that, it's a bit slack. Not sure there's much else happening. We've filled up 20 minutes and that's about it. Joe's messing with the grinder. He seems to be, well, he's got the air compressor going, so he could be messing with the CNC mill. Not sure what he's doing out there. Also got patterns made for some of these. Got to get them cast. And some other bits too, but I can't find them. Don't know where the other bits are. JB, g'day. Was there any sign writing in another colour, Adam? Please elaborate on that. Something in blue in signwriting. Ah, yeah, there's a truck, but I haven't got any pictures of that. I think that's probably what you mean. The truck's done. The truck's half done anyway. We're getting the truck done. Now, here's another thing I've been working on, right? We'll put these up here. There's two of these. 10 points for working out what these are. Right? These are just a lot less rough than they were. I've scraped the paint off them and got them back to bright metal. And I flattened these out because they were all like someone had chewed them. They still look a bit like someone chewed them, but I'm going to have to make a template. I'll draw around them all and pick the biggest one and make a cardboard template to that and clean it up. And then I'll cut them all out to match that template so they're all the same, I think, is what I'll do. There's 4 of them there. It's not Ned Kelly's armour, no. Well, it sort of is. So these are all held on with brass screws. A couple of these, it's quite thick, but at least there's no rust or pitting here much. So they will take a pretty nice coat of paint, I think, which we like. There's actually 2 of these. I got these back to pretty nice. These are, yeah, this one's also ugly. They're flat now, at least we've sort of got an pound and anvil and flatten them off so they're not actually sharp, but they need cleaning up. These are the cylinder cladding off the roller. There you go. Cylinder cladding. 2 pieces of. No bullet holes in it, so obviously it's not Ned Kelly's armour. You should have known that. These are going to get painted grey when I can afford the tin of paint. Now, the tin of paint's turned up. I haven't gone and got it yet because I really haven't had time, to be honest, so I've prioritised it for next week. Probably a white stripe around here. I don't know if that's enough, to be honest. I am put a round corner on here and a white stripe, and then cut these out here like this, and around the bottom. I'm not sure if a 3/16 4mm, whatever, 5mm stripe is going to be enough on them. I really don't. Fowler livery says like if you ordered one that was striped, and they weren't all. Mark's probably was. I don't think mine was. Mine was just plain black, I think. They had quite a wide stripe around here, and then a definition colour on here. So I'm not sure I'm going to do that. I could put a black stripe around here and then grey in the middle and a definition colour, but I don't think I will. I think I'm just going to put a, don't know how wide yet, but it might end up with like a, I don't think too wide, match the rest of it, 3/16 stripe right round on both of them, on the grey, just in white, I think. Now, I talked to a gentleman at Gosford Library. There you go. It's useful because this roller actually worked in Gosford for some of its life, early part of its life, and he's getting me some details or a photographical scan or something of a Erinna Shire Council equipment sign or something off the truck door or something like that, which he has a copy of. If I could reduce it and do something similar on one of these on the nameplate side, probably the offside, I'd be pretty keen to do that. So probably on the flywheel side, something like that. So we'll see what happens there, but this has got to go back on before Glenray. So we're on a bit of a time frame for this, and probably when they're back on, we could get up on the roll and do it then, but not sure. I'd like to have something in mind before I stripe it. Hopefully that all works out. This is all stuff that's going through my head. Don't know if any of it's really relevant, but these need cleaning up here in the corners at some point, the die grinder. Probably not a burr, I think they're too tinny for that. I think just a wheel, if we draw around them and then just clean them out. And a coat of undercoat, coat of grey, some white stripes, and maybe some sign writing. And these can go back on before the drain cocks go back on, which is what these holes are for. The drain cocks stick out through here. Anyway, that's another thing we're working on. So it hasn't been a completely wasted weekend, but there's been a fair bit happening. I don't think there is a Ritz coat of arms, to be honest. Not sure they were those sort of people. I did a ancestry.com or 23andMe or whatever DNA test, and it's a bit mixed, to be honest. It's a bit mixed. There's a lot of Lowland Scottish and a fair bit of Highland Scottish and a bit of Italian. 1% Bengali, something like that, 1.5%, something like that, Bengali. There you go. There was no Australian Aboriginal, so I'm untainted, not like some, but not looking at you, Dan. That was a bit rough. Yeah, and quite a lot of English. My dad's side was from Northumberland, I believe. In fact, one of them had a hey, Chirp. One of them had a pub and had quite a record. Like he was known far and wide as England's biggest liar. There you go. But 1.5% Bengali, which kind of adds some weight to what I always believed, that I always heard, that my family's got a bit of Romany blood. So I stuck with that. That's why I'm never going to make anything of my life. Just got to live with that. But yeah, it's all on file now. So if anything happens. So, oh, that's awesome. That accounts for the beard, Chirp. No Tasmanian bushman at all. Yeah, well, there was actually. A few brushes with fame there too. My grandmother grew up just down the street from the guys who went on to be the Singing Kettles. There we go. If anyone's familiar with them as a country group. Yeah, my grandfather worked as a child. He worked for a fairly famous chair manufacturer in Nabola in Tasmania. There we go, George Peddle. And my grandfather then bought land on Peddle's Hill near Ringarooma, which was where the timber came from for the Peddle chair factory, actually. So there you go. That's pretty sort of clicky little Tasmanian history, but there we go. Peddle's chairs were made for railway waiting rooms and things like that. Very nice blackwood chair. They were put together, they were dried out and put together and then stood back outside so that they swelled up. So they stay together. And George Peddle used to sell them by throwing them, famously used to sell them by throwing them downstairs. So anyway, pretty much scum of the earth in my family. On my mum's side, there's a little bit of Romney in there. Comes through every couple of generations. Physically, anyway. Mentally, I think it probably comes through a bit more often than that. Anyway, I stuck with that. What else? What else? This weekend we're going to Dan's. It's a roofing day. We're going to put the roof on the shed. It's pretty exciting. Pretty screw sort of excited. Like we're really wound up about that. I don't know if I am, or if anyone else is, but I am. Very much like to have the roof on the shed. It's also the day that we start putting the roller back together, which is very nice. Yeah, there won't be a lot of rooting at them as such. Not that I know of, anyway. It's, like Bill, our days of going to school is as well and truly behind us. The roof is exciting. Also going to have a bit of a steam up, hence having this finally ready. Look at that. Sexy. So that's ready for steam up. Someone blows the bolt out of it. Won't be my fault, it'll be Phil's. Nigel, good day. That's it. I've got to be back up here on Tuesday though to do a bit more on that truck. I've got to get that going. I want to get that out of the way because it's eating into my Tuesdays a bit, and it's quite a bit of money waiting there for when it's finished. So that's nice. At this point, the next Sunday I've got to go and look at a job, and got to look at another one before then somewhere this side of Brisbane. So haven't caught up with that person yet to work it out. I believe there's probably another truck up the back of out Ipswich way too, but I haven't talked to that guy either. When he rings, we'll sort that out. Anyway, There seems to be plenty of painting work around, which really, really makes me a bit happy, actually, because it's very nice to have a little bit of income that's waiting there, that you don't have to go out and really chase too much. I like that. Anyway, that's what's happening. That's what's happening. That's what we're doing here. Nothing particularly exciting. Now, was there a video from Nigel? Not sure I saw one. There was one from Bill, I believe. I did go and watch that. Very interesting video about the histories of Dead Duck Day. And I'm really struggling to think that the information we have on that is really factual or true, or even the only possibility. But anyway. Wasn't one from Dan. James has a new mill, I believe. We haven't had a video about that yet, but we'd be interested in seeing it. No pressure. There was probably some shorts from David, and I didn't see them yet. There might have been one from Chirp, but I didn't see that either. It didn't come up on my feed. There was one from Tea and Biscuits about steaming the engine. Very good video. Should go and check that out. There was probably one from Journeyman Randy. I didn't go and check that out either, unfortunately. I did see it pop up, and it's on my list, so I will see it probably tonight. There was a live last night for Mark's Shed Talk, and probably an update as well during the week. Mark's live on Tuesday nights. I think he's made that official. Had a good video last night and lots to look at. He's a bit more organised than me. But there was also one on getting the wheels in, I think, and he's got his front rolls in the shed and the rear rolls too, probably, I don't know. But anyway, rollers, some progress being made there, which is awesome, as opposed to mine. I've got bits with no paint. That's what's happened to me, and I've got some patterns to make some bits cast, and not much else. Chirp isn't wearing pants. Yeah, it might be real, Bill. Be careful what I'm saying here. It might be real, but I'm not sure the guy saw what he thought he saw. The whole 71 minutes seems a bit long for a duck, no matter what the kick is. It does seem a little bit long. So I'm just wondering if the duck may or may not have sort of been trapped against its wheel, and then the experimental body that observed it may have not realised that and not got the full story. There are reasons that I think that there may be things that weren't fully explored there. Seems a bit sketchy. Anyway, Rustox has a couple of videos. Yes. I did watch a couple of those, I think. I watched one. What did I watch the Rustox video on? Yeah, making collet. That's what I watched. Always good videos from Rustox. It was scientifically published, but I'm really not sure that it's actually there were other possibilities. That's all I'm saying. Don't let the truth get in the way of a good story. And it wasn't even a real good story, but anyway. Go and watch Bill's video if you're wondering what we're talking about, and then do some Googling, or don't, depending. There's about 3,000 assorted videos. There's one from John Creasy at Creasy's Workshop, and there's number 3 in the series. I'm building a Stuart number 7. That's very good. Well worth a look. Not as much pointless surface grinding in the last video, but I'm guessing he'll make up for it at some point. Well, I've got things to do, so I really should get in and actually do them. Or I'm going to run out of time, but we'll see how we go. Probably next weekend I'll get some stuff done. No, I won't, because I've got one day next weekend. Let's see what I can do. See what we can get done before then. Next weekend I've got a day at Petrie. Got to go and put this sign up. And I've got to go and talk to the ladies at the fire station about redoing some signs, which sounds like a good little job. And so forth and so on. So then I've got Sunday afternoon. Come back. Might have some castings to look at. I need to get some paint on this. I'm not sure what colour. There's a border. It's in a box. There we go. Is it? Yeah, it's in a box. So it's on its way. There's a sign with it. I'll get to the post office. It might even be this week. No, I haven't sent it out, but it's on its way. It's in a box, but it's not on. It's not actually at the post office yet. I'll go and do it at some point. You might have to wait until I get a couple of paid jobs coming. There's a couple of boilers I was working on. Yeah, they're boilers everywhere. There's one on the floor just here. There's another one on the shelf here somewhere. Yeah, I've got to get in and do stuff. Full-size steam gets in the way. Get this roller back together. I might spend a couple of weeks on that and on some model engineering stuff. It's a few little jobs that wouldn't take much to finish. I've got one of Dad's here that's sort of half finished. I'd like to get finished as well. But anyway, we'll see. There's a couple of engines too that I'd like to finish. We'll see. Maybe this year I'll get some model engineering done. Or I might not. I should. Paint this. Dan says this should be bright red. Coke red. Since when has Coke not had Coke written on the top of the lid? It's got recycles on it. It's got thanks for recycling this bottle on the top of a Coke bottle lid. What sort of a system is that? Don't understand. Feeling a little bit ripped off. Dan says red for this. I've seen some of these that are black on the inside of the leads around here. And red on the outside. That looks all right. Now, originally, this would have been black. Right, with white letters. That was kind of good. Sorry, everyone, but this would have been black. I doubt they got painted red. They might have, but I doubt it very much that many of them painted red. It's going on a black roll, on a shiny black headstock on the roller. And there's some other plates, right? There's this one, right, which is kind of important. This is a reproduction, I believe. I think this is a reproduction. I don't think it's original. It could be, but I think this is a reproduction. Looks a bit different to Mark's original. Anyway, this has got to be painted too. See? This would look good black or red, doesn't matter. There's one that says Lilith on one side and there's Agent's Plate on the other side. The Agent's Plate's fairly big, right? The Agent Plate is about 550, 600 long or something like that. And that's about 2 foot long. 22, 24 inches long. And it's about 5 inches deep. And if we paint that red, that's a whole lot of red on a grey panel. Like, it stands out like. So we could easily paint this black and this black and the Agent's Plate black and paint the nameplate red. That's what I'm thinking. Or we could probably paint this one and the other two grey, which wouldn't look terrible either. I don't know, there's already red under the canopy. We sort of want to match that. And I've got a tin of red. That's where we're at. So Dan thinks it all should be red, but he's not big on imagination, really. Doesn't think outside the box. And I sort of think that this one needs to be black at least, or red, or black, or red, or black. This one here needs to be red or black or something. And the picture of the factory plate that I've seen for the photograph was actually black with white writing. So it probably looks good on the front red, but I think that all that red's going to be a bit in your face. So I'm wondering whether we do this bit here in black. That's my thoughts. I'm going to do this bit in black or even grey. We could do this bit in grey and the rest in red. Or we could do the whole lot in black with this in grey. It'd look really nice too. A bit monochrome. We could do it in a pretty pucey sort of a green. But I don't think so. So, original colours, this would have been black. Like, they didn't put a lot of effort into it. And I don't think there was even any brass showing. They were only casting brass for ease. And I think they just lathered a coat of black on them and probably put a coat of white on over the top with a roller, to be honest. That's about what happened. Grey might compact it, but it actually greys the colour of the roller. So these are going to be grey. This doesn't actually go on here. It goes on the boiler. But there we go. It might wash it out, yes. But the red's pretty in your face, especially if you paint all these plates red. It's going to hit you it hit you pretty hard on a grey roller, I think. Anyway, I'm still thinking about that, but I've got to get them done. So, don't know. Because this is brass, it's going to look good any colour, right? Because there's a bit of a gap between here and the back, and it goes on a shiny gloss black. So you could paint this black and put that red inside. That might look really good. Or you can paint this red and put that black inside, which would look really good. Or you paint the lot black, or you could paint the lot red, or you could paint the lot black and put grey inside. So probably it's going to be red. Probably it's going to be red, and probably this one's going to be red. But the two side plates up the top, the two side plates up the top one that says Lilith, and the other one that says Austral Engineering Supply Company. In Sydney. Something wrong with the people in the chat. Bill's right. I think Bill's on the money, but anyway, we might end up the other way around. I'm not painting that Stuart Models green on any level. So the other two plates, which are very big, if we paint them red, it's too much. So I think we're going to paint the other two black anyway. But it needs a red crank. Absolutely needs a red crank. We're going to paint the crank red, but I don't know when that will be. Anyway, all the big difficult questions. We've got a tin of red paint, which helps, and we've got a tin of black paint. So they're probably really good places to start. But I don't know how that red's going to look straight on the grey. I don't know about that. Anyway, to get in and clean it up. Run some stripper on it, clean it out, polish it up, and put some red paint on that. Yeah, the crank is already red, but generally they had red crank. It sort of makes it more difficult to see the blood stains, like Chirp says. Anyway, that's that. So thanks for all your clarity there, guys. Still got absolutely no idea what colour I'm painting it. So that's the gloss black, right? Just so we know, we actually have got something here that's been painted that glossy black. Right. Same colour. So probably red's the answer. Probably I'm just going to paint it red the same as it was before. Anyway, got to get these done. Got to get that done. Got to get... That's not important. That can wait. No cladding to put that on yet. Got to get that back on the roller, which actually goes on this board that's sitting here. See, there's a board here. And up against, this is the running board, or the walk, widow walk, whatever you want to call it. It's the got no focus there. Sorry, guys. It's the work platform, whatever goes on the side. There's a slot there where that goes in with coach bolts to hold it in place. Still got to make nuts for the coach bolts. Don't know what I've done all week. No time to do actual work. I should have been doing other stuff. As for the lathe, there's absolutely no practice, no progress at all. It's a bit dirty because it seems a little bit of work, but I haven't actually made anything to do with any steam engine I'm working on. There you go. So sorry, James, no progress here. I was at Phil's, and Phil has, right? Phil has a lot of cool stuff. Phil's a blacksmith, right? He's one of our roller crew, etc., etc., etc. Really nice guy. He's a blacksmith, but he has a drill press with a cone pulley with a planetary back gear in it. There we go. How cool is this? Right? It's the only one I've actually seen in actual. Right? But it's on the driven end of the belt, the same as the one that I drew up. If you remember, I drew up and printed one out of Model Engineer for a Drummond, which goes on this end of the crank, on this end of the belt. It's actually designed for the spindle of a Drummond lathe, and that's all very well, but it won't work the other way around. So you can't put it on this end and drive the belt from the shaft. You've got to drive the shaft from the belt, or the gearing's got too much mechanical disadvantage and it doesn't work. So I had to sort of redesign it, and I sort of have. But there's a lot of work in that. I'd very much like to. This belt is fantastic. Really big fan of this. This is called, oh my gosh, what is it called? It's a TPU canvas hybrid space age harness material. Doesn't seem to break down with oil or anything. Doesn't seem to get slippery. Doesn't tear. Doesn't seem to move. It seems to join pretty easy with clippers. I really like it. Good stuff. And this one on here for the reverse belt's the same. One day we're going to have to replace this one, which is still the old rubberized canvas one. You use a serpentine belt on this one too, Chirp, but you've got to take the headstock out every time you do it. That's a bit of a pain. And also take the line shaft out. Not that impressed. And there's actually no adjustment here, so you've got to shorten it up anyway. So none of that's happened. Like, officially hasn't happened. There's a big spark plug auction coming up in Victoria. I really don't want to even look at it. There's 4,000 plugs. And I don't know if it's going to be 4,000 lots or just cabinet by cabinet or how they're going to do it, but it's going to be a long way out of my price range, so I'm not even going to look. But famous last words. There are things that I would very much like. Big, very early established spark plug collector. The international guy who retired to Australia from America. So pretty colossal collection. If someone wants to spot me a couple of grand, I reckon I could spend it very easy on half a dozen plugs, but I'm not going to do that at this point. Steamroller for sale. There's a steamroller in auction at Bundaberg. I think end of this month, something like that. Might be a bit later than that. Might be July sometime. There's a DN, I think it's a DN1 or a DNA convertible roller. As far as condition goes, I've got absolutely no idea. It's all in one bit. It hasn't broken in the middle. It's broken at the front because someone's patched the headstock up with a fairly serious sort of a repair. It's been plated. It's got original rolls on the back. And if the thing went for $1,000, I'd buy it for the rolls, but I don't think it will. Then you've got to go and get them. Not going to happen as far as I know. The trouble is you end up with two rollers and then one of them needs to be restored. And one roller's not much good without rolls, so at this point that's not going to happen. So that's about it. Don't know if I have much else to add, to be honest. I seem to be just waffling on about nothing. It's been really good to catch up and sort of touch base and let everyone know what's been happening and sort of talk about my week. Take care, Chip. Sleep well. So some point I need to finish this garden and everything as well. I've got that sort of half done. It's probably not a big job to do it. If I get a couple of hours next weekend, I might do that amongst everything else. I might not either. What else? There's a couple of very nice stationary engines for sale. I heard someone who might be wanting to move them on to make some money to buy a steam engine here in Australia. So if anyone's interested in a couple of fairly rare English stationary engines, like really, really rare stuff, hit me up and I might pass on some details. Anyway, I guess the price attached to them will be open market sort of prices, which counts me out. Two signboards here is still blank. Haven't actually done anything with them yet. That'll happen at some point. Probably won't be before Glenray. I've done some artwork for a rally badge for Glenray Timberfest. If it's going to be an ongoing thing, it might be something that's worth doing. And I haven't got anything worth sharing yet, but that's something that we're going to have a go at doing. We'll see. We're still only, we've got, come on, seriously. We've got like 5 weeks or something. Anyway. Oh my God. Panic attack. Keep it down. It's going to be okay. No, it's not really like that. What gets done, but we'll see how we go. Anyway, that's my week. More next week. I will have been to Dan's. We should have this roof on the shed. I should have some paint on all these bits. I probably should have, that's still there. We should have some bits ready to go back on the roller, hopefully. Yeah, saw bench job. Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Haven't given that much thought, to be honest. We'll see. Anyway, be good and take care. And more soon, guys and girls. I'm out. We'll get some stuff done, but there's a bit to do, to be honest. I feel a bit accomplished. I got this done. I've got the truck half painted. I've got some Harley tanks well on the way to being finished on time. So we have done stuff, but it puts a hole in everything else. Anyway, take care, guys. Hit us up, chat. I'm at work for the rest of the week, but there's always time to say hello on Messenger. Don't be afraid to say hi. And or in Discord or whatever. And we'll get stuff done. I'm out.